The people had more rights and benefits than most people around the world. It was a big tourist destination. And now it's a hellhole, completely destroyed. But nobody mentions that.
Right. Right.
Judge,
Mrs. Clinton last week was at the State Department at the unveiling of her official portrait as the 85th Secretary of State of the United States. And I was reminded she is directly in a line that started with Thomas Jefferson. Oh, how different. And if you watch the speech she gave, it's a campaign speech. The campaign speech for president in 2024. She's just waiting for old Joe to not wake up some morning.
Again, this is the Hillary Clinton that also is, you could see her on the video when the woman asked her in an interview, I think it was on CBS News, how'd you feel when you found out that Muammar Gaddafi was killed? We came, we saw, he died.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Remember Madeleine Albright? How did you feel about 500,000 children killed in Iraq or Afghanistan? The price you pay for democracy. Oh.
Yep. That was Leslie Stahl on CBS 60 Minutes. She asked, it was Bill Clinton. Every time he got caught with his pants down, it was bombs away over Baghdad, and he put terrible sanctions on them. And Leslie Stahl asked Madeleine Albright, was the price of 500,000 Iraqi children under the age of 5 worth the sanctions and what Bill Clinton's done to Iraq? And she said, yes, it is. These are the people that are running our country.
Yeah, this
right
is
in
the
front of your eyes. Judge, what happened over there with this Charlie McCarthy? Remember Charlie McCarthy?
Yeah.
The puppet?
Right.
There he is. Remember that?
Yes. Ooh, boy, is Dylan fast. Wow. To have that at his fingertips.
Yep. Well, they got rid of Charlie McCarthy over there, the guy that was playing the Republican majority leader over there in the House. What's your take on it?
Oh, I support the rebels 110%. Kevin McCarthy succeeded in putting a Republican aura of respectability on Mrs. Pelosi level spending. He had no interest whatsoever in constitutional government or in fiscal sanity. And I was ecstatic that he was kicked out. I don't know who's going to replace him. Hopefully someone more toward our way of thinking. But these are ultimately pipe dreams because the Republican Party is just the Republican wing of the big government, warfare, welfare, and intelligence state, emergency state, security state party. They're both of the same mindset right there. Yep. In fact, these two, Biden and McConnell, have been buddies for 35 years. That's how long the two of them have been in government, which is most of their adult lives. I might actually be wrong. The number might actually be higher. Biden was in the Senate for 36 years, then vice president for 8. Wow, do the math. Then president for now approaching his 4th year.
Well, he's been
they're of the same big government mindset, Gerald.
Yeah, Biden's been sucking off the public tit for about 60 years.
Just about right. Yes.
And again, one clown after another, and that's the other thing, these this group that overthrew Charlie McCarthy there, they want to have term limits. That was one of the agreements that they made when they brought him in.
Correct.
And people don't remember when back in January, he had a real fight to become the leader over there.
It took 16. It took 16 ballots over 3 days, right?
Yep. So this might be a big change. Judge, what's going on in Ukraine that the people that you know about that the people haven't heard about?
That Ukrainian soldiers have been told to carry cash because when they're injured, they have to bribe medics to take them to a hospital. and then they have to bribe hospital personnel to treat them. Otherwise, they just get at the end of the line and they'll be dead. So corruption is so rampant, so accepted and so expected that you can't have your life saved as a soldier in the military without bribing military and civilian personnel. Scott Ritter will talk about that on my podcast at 3:30 Eastern today. That's how bad things have gotten. The other thing Scott's going to talk about is it is now common conversation amongst diplomats and military personnel in Europe that Ukraine has lost. They're just waiting for Biden to recognize this, and he won't recognize it if he's going to run for re-election. He can't, because it'll be a catastrophic failure, worse than our evacuation from Afghanistan was.
Well, as I say, when all else fails, they take you to war. So he'll probably try to ramp it up.
He will try and ramp it up. He got his buddy Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, to drop a hint about British troops on the ground. And then Prime Minister Sunak said, well, no, we don't mean, this is such a British phrase, Gerald. I don't think we speak this way. I didn't mean it in the here and now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what? You meant it for tomorrow? I mean, that's what he said. And then the British press, backed off. This is ridiculous what we lived through.
The other thing, one of the reasons they threw out McCarthy was that he made a deal with Biden where they passed that spending bill. And they were going to, they didn't want to send $24 billion more of our money to Ukraine. And that was part of the bill.
The deal was he would take it out of the bill and then put it in another bill after the government had been reconstituted, reauthorized at Mrs. Pelosi level spending. Now, this character from New York that pulled the fire alarm, obviously, I don't approve of that at all. That could cause injury and death. However, McCarthy's people rewrote the statute at night. It was 1,000 pages long. They gave the Democrats 15 minutes to read it. The guy pulled the alarm so that the Congress would have more time to read the damn thing before they could vote on it. But that's the way the government works today. You do this better than anybody else. Do as we tell you. They do that to themselves. McCarthy's saying, just vote the way I tell you.
Yeah.
And it finally caught up with him.
Well, that was part of the agreement, too, when they brought him in January, that Congress would have at least, I think it was like 76 hours to read a bill.
Right.
That was another part of the agreement that he was supposed to abide by.
Right. Remember Mrs. Pelosi's famous comment on Obamacare, we have to pass it so we can read it. Now that was 2,700 pages. The Bush administration did the same thing on the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act is 115 pages. I've read it twice. I might be one of the only people on the planet who's read it twice. It takes about 12 hours to read, even though it's only 115 pages, because it amends other statutes. So you have to have all the other statutes in front of you and poke in the amendments in order to make sense out of it. Ron Paul told me that Congress was given 15 minutes in which to read it.
All right, so we'll stay on that one with the Obamacare. The latest data came out that since Obamacare, the life expectancy in the United States has declined by about 2 to 3 years.
Wow.
And going back to what you said about corruption in Ukraine, if anybody that thinks that this is a lot of BS, a poll, it was in our Trends Journal, not this week, but last week, a poll from Ukraine shows that corruption is the concern of 89% of the population.
Wow. And the other 11% is probably benefiting from the corruption.
Yeah, that's about it.
That would be the elites, and the most elite of the elites is comedian turned president.
Yes, so
he's really there he is. He is really in a corner because if he does anything to pull back the military, he'll probably be assassinated by the Nazis on the hard right wing of his governments. And if he keeps the military fighting the way they are, there'll be nothing left of them. I mean, the end is so close to near.
Again, when you talk, you were just mentioning again, to show the stupidity and arrogance. What's that guy's name? Bowman? What's his name? That pulled the alarm?
Oh, Bowman.
Yeah, Blowman, yeah. Saying that he didn't know it. It was, what are you kidding me or what?
It was obviously
really,
an alarm.
If he said that to you, who the hell are you talking to?
Right. He was on tape pulling the alarm. Everybody saw that wanted to, saw the video.
Oh, I thought a fire alarm is going to open the door. What are you, 3 years old? I mean, who are you kidding over here? And he gets away with it.
He will get away with it.
He should go to jail.
He will get away. Well, if you or I pulled a false alarm, we would be candidates for jail. There's no question about it. He's just lucky that nobody was hurt. And a fire alarm causes people to panic and rush out of the building, and that usually produces injury. It didn't this time.
Well, again, this is the whole system. The bigs don't get punished for anything. Look at the J.P. Morgan Chase, where they convicted of 5 felonies. 5. Nobody goes to jail. If you or I did it, or any of you're driving, how many drinks did you have? Stand on your head, repeat the alphabet backwards. You're 0.1% over the limit. You're going to jail. But they get away with murder. That's the new America. Right. Judge, thanks for being here. Thank you for all that you do. And by the way, on October 9th, RFK Jr. is announcing he's running. He announced he's running as an independent. We're going to see what party that he'll be running on. And as you well know, I've been saying now since last November that the best ticket would be RFK Jr. for president, Judge Andrew Napolitano for vice president on the Libertarian ticket. So let's see what happens.
Thank you, Gerald. God love you.